And we are now live, episode 2 of the Sweet Science TV. This is Efren again, and I'm here with the other sweet scientists we have. We have Ravi Kadambi,
Yo, yo.
live from Madison. And we also have Meligod himself back from episode 2. And this time he has good reception, good audio, so everything should be more crisp this time. So we're good.
Or at least
there.
we hope.
Whoa. At least we hope. Yeah, at least we hope. But we should be good. All right. So just to get started, quick announcement. As you guys may or may not know, Anthony Joshua does have an opponent for June 1st. As you guys know as well, Miller took all these steroids. He's not going to be able to do it. He should be banned from the sport, in my personal opinion. But he'll be facing a guy named Andy Ruiz Jr. There's not a whole lot of information about him. A lot of people don't know about him, actually. But we're going to table that topic for next week as we move closer to that fight. And as we also cover the Deontay Wilder fight.
I thought he was the fat guy with the tattoos, right? Is that the guy?
He is the fat guy with the tattoos.
Okay. Good to know.
That's our guy. That's going to be our guy. Also, another quick thing I want to jump into before we get to the Canelo versus Jacobs fight, which is why everyone's here logged in, is Triple G has now separated with his trainer Abel Sanchez. What's your guys' thoughts on what occurred? And do you see this like impeding whatever's left of Triple G's career, or do you think it'll be business as usual for him?
I think that's just the worst thing that could happen to Triple G. Him and Abel Sanchez, they had the best relationship. I think Triple G became probably the best version of himself when he joined up with Abel Sanchez. And it's just kind of peculiar to me of why this is happening at around the same time that Triple G is signing with DAZN. So that gets my Spidey alert going there. But I'll pass it along to Meligod.
Meligod, any thoughts on Triple G breaking up with his trainer? Do you think that'll affect him in any way? We can't hear you.
Well, he gets that fixed. Yeah, Triple G. That's a poor business move. That's a poor boxer's move. There's got to be some reason, some incentive, because I just can't see them breaking up that easily.
Yeah, I think it's all about money and greed. So I think honestly that's what it came down to. But then
part of that DAZN contract. That clause.
That DAZN contract is now in place, so
chipping away on Triple G until Canelo could get him as food when he's old.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna feed Golovkin to Canelo eventually, and that was really the reason they signed him. In my opinion, that's they're looking long term, and I think that's the long term plan with that. Meligod, are you in? Do you have live audio, or it's still out?
I think he's still out. So I don't know if he can hear us or what's going on there. We'll get.
He just logged out. He'll probably log back in.
He'll come. He can come back in at any moment. But we'll keep the show.
Let's just keep the show rolling. Again, just to recap that little section, I do believe, as you believe, Triple G will now be food for Canelo probably in the next fight after this fight if things go his way. And speaking of the fight, it's coming up this Saturday, May 4th. They're calling it the 50-50 fight. We got Andrew Jacobs fighting Canelo Alvarez. I know DAZN has a lot of material. They've been milking this fight for months. And needless to say, this fight's been milked also by none other than Oscar De La Hoya. Let's just get right into it. Just jump in. Thoughts? What do you see going on here?
I wanted to talk about the Jacobs Triple G fight. I did a little research on that just to brushing up. I remember that fight, but I just reviewed it not too long ago. And Jacobs, the one thing about Jacobs is he can take some punches, but even he got put down by Triple G. Not many people could. Only Canelo maybe is one guy in the world who can take a Triple G punch and not go down.
Right.
So Jacobs he's a tough dude. He was able to take some shots and he moved around kind of awkward. And I noticed he switched from southpaw back to traditional a lot during that fight, almost too much. And he got caught a lot when he was doing that with straight rights. So I think Jacobs just needs to just stick to, maybe switch here and there, but stick to what he's good at. Those wide hooks. Um, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I
think he
agree.
has a good chance in this fight, a very good chance, but not. I don't know about 50-50. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know about 50-50 either. But here's the thing, though. The thing about Daniel Jacobs is he's not a small guy. A lot of guys are taking that for granted. He's not a small guy. He's like what, close to 6 feet, 6'1", something around along those lines.
He's taller and he's got some length to him, so that's going to cause some problems if he uses it properly.
He is taller. Also, Canelo's only like 5'8". He's not that tall, so that's plenty of inches of difference. I'm sure his arm length, his reach, is going to be a problem for Canelo. So maybe if you could keep him at a distance, Jacobs has a chance to pull this fight off, in my opinion.
Also, what to add about the difference on the length and the height. But against Canelo, I think it no matter what, he's gonna get inside. He'll get inside. Jacobs isn't great enough to keep him outside. He's gonna have to fight inside and take licks, and I think he can hang in that aspect too. But he should start out on the outside. Try to start out.
He should start off on the outside. Um, what do you think about Oscar and the way he's been going about promoting the fight? I know here at the Sweet Science TV, we love to talk about Oscar, but I just feel like he does a lot of things wrong, and we definitely need to address it every episode because you just gotta, call it like you see it. So, what's your take on Oscar De La Hoya and his marketing of this fight? Do you think he's overemphasizing the cancer?
I think
Because that's the elephant in the room.
I think it's pretty over the top the way Oscar is promoting the fight. This guy's promoting the fight as if Jacobs is a White Walker or a zombie. Like he's like he had cancer, he died, and then he's living his second life. I just cracked up watching the documentary called 50-50. You guys can look it up on YouTube. I think it's by Sporting News or Sports News. But yeah.
Are you talking about 40-40? The one on the Zone? Is that the one you're talking about?
It was on YouTube. I think it's brought to you by the Zone. Eddie Hearn was on there talking about the fight, but it was called the 50-50 fight or something like that. We'll put the link on the bottom in the comment section. But yeah,
we'll think about it if the Zone pays us.
He was really maybe. But yeah, Oscar's really hyping it up. Canelo, though, I don't know, man. Canelo seems really focused for a guy that famous, a guy that on top of the sport. I really do think that, sure, it's nice, the stuff outside of the ring. I think he's kind of an animal. Like he's really in there. He lives in the ring. He lives in the gym since he was what, 6th grade. So Canelo's just that dude, man.
Many pictures of this freckled boy when he was a child.
Yeah, it's kind of
fighting
creepy.
others.
Like, whoa, man, you didn't even live a childhood. You were fighting grown men and beating them up when you were like 12.
Basically, I think he went pro I'm not sure if it was 15 or 16, but he went pro a long time ago. Obviously, he's faced a lot of cans along the way.
Yeah, but that's still.
But still, they're grown men.
To get
You know what I'm saying?
spotted
They're grown men.
to get spotted like that, that's a 1 in a million chance. He might have been working for the cartel and popping off dudes. Who knows? But that's a different story.
That's a different story. That's another genre of conversation. I see Malaga joined. He's logged back in. Are you there? Can we hear you? I can't hear him. I could just see a picture of him.
Well, we have at least his presence here. We have his presence.
His presence is in the sky. He's watching over us right now.
That's why he's Melagod.
That's why he is Melagod. So
back to the matchup. It's real interesting. It's gonna be? I think it's gonna be tougher than some fans are predicting. Tomato can. Now Jacobs is totally not, but he's gonna give a lot of problems to Canelo.
Yeah, he's definitely far from a can. There's no ragu in him. Again, honestly, when I was rewatching that Triple G fight with Daniel Jacobs, I felt that he honestly, I think they could have easily gave him the decision.
It would have been a travesty if they did. Another thing, though, about that decision, which I didn't like, was that it was a unanimous decision. I don't think it was a unanimous fight. I think it could have been a split decision. I do believe Triple G won that fight due to the fact that he was able to land cleaner shots and harder shots. But
Yep.
Jacobs was able to take some of them, but he went down. He went down in the fourth. So, I mean, unanimous, split, whatever. But I thought maybe one judge could have been like, I'll go ahead and just make it spicy real quick for everybody.
Give it a little spice. Who do you think has more power? Like, do you think Golovkin has more power than Canelo? Because, like you said, Golovkin was able to knock down Jacobs in the fourth round. So, is that something that you think Canelo could get done? Or is that just a straight up Triple G type thing? And
I think Triple G's power might be, it's real close. Him and Canelo, you could say tie or maybe Triple G by a hair. But yeah, I mean, Jacobs doesn't want to take shots like he did in the Triple G fight. That's not the way to win the fight. That's the way to make us fans proud of you and be like, wow, damn, you're crazy, you're tough, you can take some shots. But to win the fight,
and he has cancer.
He needs it.
Or
Well,
had
yeah,
cancer.
it's wrapped around his spine. De La Hoya likes to emphasize it. But that's why if I'm gonna root for a fighter, if I'm gonna take my non-biased glasses off and root for a fighter, I like the cancer story. I know but it's a real story, and this guy came back and he's fighting at a world-class level. That to me is something special. Canelo's story as well. Both are great stories. I like the guy. I like the underdog. I always root for the underdog. Y'all know that on the Sweet Science here.
Yeah, I saw that the Zone, they had that special. They aired episode 1 last week, and I think tomorrow they'll air episode 2. So by the time you guys see this, episode 2 will already be out, and they're trying to humanize both people. But I think a lot of the emphasis is on his cancer that he had. And I don't know, I feel like in a way Oscar De La Hoya is milking something that he shouldn't be milking.
He's milking cancer. Let's be real. Let's be blunt. This is the fucking Sweet Science TV.
Only on Sweet Science TV will we keep it this raw and uncut.
This is what we do here, man. We call it out as we see it. And yeah, Oscar is milking it, but I think people are eating it up too. So I wonder what their subscription figures are looking at since each of these documentaries have been aired, because I bet you it had some kind of impact on the
Honestly, I'm losing count. There's so many. The Zone itself has like so many mini documentaries on top of all the other documentaries that already exist about this fight.
And it has some cool obscure fights. If you're just bored and stoned or whatever, drunk, you just want to watch anything, just throw on the Zone. I'm not promoting it, but they got random ass fights. You can see some shit. I don't know.
This is true. So all this cancer talk brings me to my next question that I thought about earlier. Do you think slightly that may affect the way Canelo fights? Like, do you think it's going to be in his back of his mind? Because this has been like poured on the public. It's been poured on in every press conference. They've been touring. Like, there was a snippet they had where they're on stage and Canelo makes a joke about sipping Hennessy, blah, blah, blah. The crowd loves it. And then immediately Daniel Jacobs goes into his cancer triumph, and it just killed the crowd. So I'm sure he's doing this at every stop. So do you think in the back of his mind this affects him, or does he just not care?
I think if Canelo wins, that means he's for cancer, maybe. Maybe he's for cancer if he wins the fight. Who knows? But no, man, it's more about selling the story. So it's like, okay, this guy's beating cancer. I think it's framed. Even De La Hoya, I could read through his acting. It's framed like Canelo's the bad guy in the fight.
Which is surprising, because we all know that.
I like Canelo. He's cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. They have cool. These other things on the Zone where they just show him like playing with children, singing, buying cars, driving cars, just living his life.
He's
You
kind
know,
of
so
stuck in. He's like a kid that's rich. And he just can do what he wants because he fights.
yep,
Nothing wrong with that.
this is true. So let's talk about possible outcomes and the future after that. So, for instance, if Jacobs wins, where do you see him going next? How do you see him progressing? And if he loses, also, what do you see him doing next? Because this is going to be probably the biggest fight of his career, other than that Triple G fight. But I think this may leave more of a legacy than that, because people are really sold on him at that point. But this is going to be pivotal for his career.
I think the Triple G fight in Jacobs wasn't marketed as good as it could have been. It didn't have enough. It didn't have enough promotion. It didn't. It didn't have. It didn't feel like as big a fight as it was to us fight heads. It was a big fight, and it's a great fight. I would suggest y'all check it out. They actually have that whole fight on YouTube somewhere. Um, but I think Jacobs, depending how this fight ends, it'll tell you. So Jacobs is going to come in. He's no American. He's no punk. I think he's going to give Canelo as good of a fight, or maybe slightly less than Triple G. Maybe because he's a little younger, he could give him more problems. He's one of the top fighters, man. He's a tough dude. So I like Danny Jacobs giving him a tough fight and maybe losing in a decision, maybe winning a couple rounds, maybe a split loss. But I think Jacobs is due for another couple of nice fights after this if he does well. Just looks good in the ring against Canelo.
So, do you see him potentially doing a Canelo Jacobs 2, or maybe revisiting Triple G Jacobs?
I think Triple G Jacobs would be a really cool fight to revisit if he puts up, if this goes the distance. That would be a nice mix up, because then like eventually, because I think Triple G has 3 or 4 fights that are in his contract. We can look that up for sure. I know it's just a handful of fights, so then you can keep Triple G away from Canelo for a little longer, and then you can milk the cancer story and get all that out the way too with Triple G in the rematch. That'll be a big fight. So Jacobs has some options. And us boxing fans have some cool fights on the horizon after this one, but we're looking forward to this one coming up May 4th, this Saturday.
For sure. And I just want to emphasize that here at the Sweet Science TV, we are anti-cancer and we're pro-cancer survivor.
Yes, we are.
So, which is why we're attacking Oscar De La Hoya.
We're just calling out storylines.
Right.
We have good hearts on this, great hearts on this channel.
I think I speak for everyone here and Milligat when say that we're definitely against cancer and we support all survivors.
And also, cancer has touched all of us. I know that sounds cliche, but it's completely the truth. Every one of us has lost someone in our family or extended family due to cancer. So yeah, we want to emphasize that, and it's a big deal, man. So hopefully we make some progress on that front as a society.
Let's just be thankful that Daniel Jacobs has beaten cancer.
Yeah,
that cancer that was wrapped around his spine and is here to entertain us with a big
like
fight.
2 snakes around his spine, as Oscar De La Hoya would say.
It's like that medical thing where it just goes like that, and it just unraveled, and he just got over it, which is good.
We obviously have no experience in the medical sciences, but yeah, y'all know the double snakes. Yep.
I saw they must have ripped it out or something, because I saw the
they ripped it out.
But I don't really know how that works.
Ripped it out of his back.
Some miracle doctor. But from my perspective, I know this might shock some people. I think if the judges are fair, of course, which is always a problem. But if the judges are fair, I think Daniel Jacobs has a great shot at getting unanimous or a split decision against Canelo.
Whoa, hot take.
Really making some power moves.
You didn't tell me that pre-show. I think you saved it for the show.
I kept it raw. Kept it raw and uncut.
Right now, I was this is what we do on the Sweet Science. We don't share all the information with each other.
We don't share.
We're trying to keep it spicy over here.
But yeah, so that's my prediction. I really do think he this off just because he has power also. He has good footwork. Now, Canelo does great defense, so that defense is what's going to really make the difference. But if Jacobs is able to harness and use his height and his reach correctly, he could pull off the fight. He just has to use the right angles.
Absolutely. So, I think I had a couple of notes from earlier when I watched that Triple G Jacobs, and I just want to go back to that because I think a lot of that stuff is going to apply to this fight because Triple G and Canelo are not that much different from each other, which is why those two fights were mega fights. They're not that too much different. I think Jacobs to win this fight, and he obviously can. Throw the straight right hand. Try to catch Canelo, the straight right hand when you're in traditional stance. Now, if he wants to switch southpaw to maybe move around, try to keep his head moving.
He can do that. He can switch.
That's okay. I like when he switched to southpaw, but he needs to do that not in the middle of the round. I think try to refrain from doing that unless you have enough space because if you're trying to do it when you're in reach. I noticed Triple G landed nice jabs on Jacobs throughout that fight, and I think that contributed to his victory in that matchup. But Jacobs, man, he could totally win it in a split decision. I think Canelo's in for the fight of his life, and he seems to be in great shape from what I've seen. So, he's testing himself for sure. I don't know if De La Hoya really likes this or not. Maybe this is him saying, I want to fight the best guy.
Well, yeah, one thing we can't take away from Canelo is he's willing to fight Triple G again because this is what's expected for September.
I don't think he's afraid of anybody.
And he's not afraid of anyone. And I do commend, one thing I will give De La Hoya credit for is he's letting him do it. He's not putting any restraints on him. He's delivering on the fights he got signed to give on the zone. He got that big contract, $365 million contract, and he's delivering good. So he's giving the biggest fights he can basically for the crowd. So that, in essence, is good for boxing.
Oscar always took big fights when he was a fighter, and he was probably my favorite fighter from that weight class growing up. I just loved the way he didn't refuse any big fights. He always fought the contenders, even to some losses, some tough losses. Bernard Hopkins, he's fought everybody. So I think that's why he garners the respect. Even though all his shenanigans and drug usage and all kinds of weird stuff going on.
We all go through our own downfalls.
People have demons, but as a fighter, everybody got to remember, unless y'all are a little young, De La Hoya never backed down from anybody. And maybe he sees a little bit of himself in Canelo Alvarez. Because I know he's always had an affinity for Canelo. That's his first baby in the sport, I feel like, as a promoter.
Don't forget his new guy, Ryan Garcia, he's very keen on as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's his little star. And I quote, "That's my little star."
Yep. But that's a different weight class. So he's got a nice stable under him right now. And adding guys like Triple G, I think the zone is kind of doing its thing. Top rank.
And they just signed Devin Haney, who's going to be a massive superstar. So that was a great signing by the zone. Shouts out to Eddie Hearn.
I got to do some extra research on that, but proud to admit it.
Get it done.
The fight game is huge. The fight game is big, so we all can do some research and bring something to the table here in the Sweet Science TV.
Yep. And just final words on this fight. What do you see happening? So final decision. You see a decision going in favor of who again?
I think Canelo Alvarez wins this fight in a split decision. I just think he's gonna land bigger shots. I don't think he's gonna knock out Jacobs.
No,
I just really can't say it based on the fact that the Triple G fight, Jacobs got better as the fight went on. Started a little slow, he got much better, and it showed. I think it showed this guy Jacobs, his conditioning is top. I mean, top of the game.
World class. He's not playing around.
And some guys, this is something about fighters. They need to get hit a couple of times just to get, and then they feel like, okay, I'm ready now, officially warmed up. And I think Jacobs was like that in the Triple G fight, and it came back to hurt him. So I hope he comes out a little bit stronger in the initial rounds against Canelo. But Canelo's he's got to be ready to go 12 against this guy Jacobs. It's going to be a tough
agree.
fight.
I agree. Either way, I don't think, even though I think they're both good power hitters, I don't think this fight's going to actually end short at all with any knockouts or TKOs even.
Maybe
this
a
will
knockdown.
go to distance. This will
knockdown.
go to distance.
Yeah, I would go to the distance, but maybe a knockdown. I'd love to see Canelo go down once, but it's
Has he ever
fucking
gone down?
hard.
I don't think I've seen that ever, to be honest.
I don't think he's gone down. I've seen pretty much all his fights. I haven't seen him go down. I've seen him. I don't know if I've seen him real hurt. I've seen him a little hurt. The Triple G fight, a little hurt. But
I don't even know if I've seen him wobble.
No, not wobble, but just, I don't know, man. That guy doesn't seem to get hurt. So Jacobs is great at body shots.
It's that cow meat.
I think it's what, yeah. It's that cow meat, man. The carne asada, man. He's just eating it all there. Carnitas.
All that steak, all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. But Jacobs needs to go for the body all times. I think he's good at that, and he should stick to that. That way, when he gets stronger later in the rounds, this is my key. One other key, by the way, it's if Jacob tries to invest in the body early, and then later on, as the fight goes on, then maybe he can slow down Canelo and win the fight. That's if he could win the fight. But I'm sticking with the split decision to Canelo.
And I'm going to stick with my split decision to Danny Jacobs. I just think that at the end of the day, they have very similar talent levels, and that height may be the deciding factor. Who knows? Either way, they're both going to perform well. They're both going to give a great fight. And at the end of the day, regardless of who they fight next, it's just going to be good for boxing, good for the middleweights. If Canelo wins, he's just going to be crowned god of the middleweight level, and him and Oscar will be riding high into the sunset.
And basically, who would be on? He's going to be running it like he is now. But if you were going to give one word for this fight, just one word, if you can pick a word for this fight coming up, what would it be?
Tantalizing.
Okay. I would say power. There's no wrong answer. I would say power. Yeah, because both guys got some power, but it would be tantalizing for the fact that it could be going down to the distance. So we're pretty excited. I'm geeked for this fight.
Yep, and I feel like either way, it's going to be a great fight. And regardless of what happens, we'll be here next week to talk about it. We're going to definitely discuss that fight. We're going to discuss any other developments, and that'll give everyone some time. And including my viewers, subscribers, please look up Andy Ruiz Jr. So when we do speak about this guy and what he's going to do with Anthony Joshua in that fight,
the Joshua Ruiz fight.
Yeah, it'll be the Joshua Ruiz fight. I'm pretty sure that's scheduled for June 1st, so I know there's some time in between. But it never hurts to just pull up some footage, check out some fights, and we'd love to get your feedback as well, because that's what matters to us. This is a three-way discussion, including Malagad, who's not mic'd up, but
he's still here. He's
overviewing.
He's here. He's around.
Yeah.
One more thing, just before we get things wrapped up, I wanted to speak on in the future, which it's kind of breaking news, so we didn't factor it in the show today. But Keith Thurman is going to fight Manny Pacquiao.
One-time Thurman, baby.
Most likely one-time Keith, one-time Ben Getty, all that shit. He's going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao probably in Las Vegas. They're more than likely Las Vegas or on the West Coast, the Staples Center. So, that's going to be, I believe, in July, if I'm not mistaken, at some point around my birthday. So it's a nice birthday gift for myself. That's gonna be pretty interesting because even old Manny, I saw him last couple of fights. He looked good.
Feisty as ever.
I don't know
Feisty as
what
ever.
kind of juice they're giving him out there that they can't detect, but this man's looking good for an
I think,
old
as Malaga would
fighter.
say, it's like fish heads in a bucket.
It's like fish heads in a bucket, according to Mellow Guy, whatever that means. But I think one time since coming off that broken hand and looking a little sloppy in his last fight, I forgot the fighter's name. Can't recall off the top, but I think that's going to be a buzzsaw for Keith Thurman. So just an early little look, little taste, little dabble into that fight coming up this summer. Couple of nice fights.
And again, just for all the fans to know, we will be going through all these fights. There's a lot going on this summer in boxing. A lot of big names. It's going to be epic. It's going to be pretty epic, and we will be giving you guys our own feedback, and then we'll be discussing afterward what occurred. Ravi, any final thoughts prior to letting everybody go here on any other items, any housekeeping, basically, before we let everyone get back to their regular life?
Guys, yeah, we're excited that this is our second episode that we're finishing up here on the Sweet Science TV. It's an honor to be on here. We're excited. It's real fun. This is not work for us. This is just having a great time talking about boxing, which I feel like doesn't get enough coverage in all these modern sports. But this is our thing, and I think it's a great sport. So we're looking forward to this summer. And also, they're still talking about it, but it might be coming up, Porter and Crawford. So we'll be talking about that as well. And that's I got a whole bunch of opinions on that.
Tons.
And y'all
Tons
know
of things
I love
coming up.
talking on here. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to F. But we're very excited. We got to give some giveaways in addition to the Manny Pacquiao gloves.
Yep.
We got a couple other things we're going to be giving away, but we need some more subscribers. Give us a like and subscribe. And we're going to be giving away a bunch of cool swag. So maybe some T-shirts. We got some coming up. So stay tuned, guys.
Definitely a lot going on. So we'll be covering all these fights. I think next week we'll have to go over to Jacob's Canelo fight, maybe talk about Andy Ruiz Jr. a little bit, and then just whatever pops up, because there's always developments. But I do want to take this time to thank all the viewers. We have viewers currently around the world. We have viewers in Senegal.
Shout out to Estuardo, who's been in the comment section a little bit.
Estuardo's been heating up that comment section for us.
I know he's a big fan of the fight game. One of my good friends growing up.
Yep. And just again, everyone subscribe. We're gonna probably give away that glove that's signed by Pacquiao and Mayweather at the end of May, I'm hoping. But I want to get more subscribers on board. If not, it looks like Estuardo's probably going to run away with it.
Yeah, Estuardo might get the gloves, man.
He might get the glove. I know there's a few other people out there that really want it. So it's going to go down.
But it'll be a pure drawing, guys. It'll be a pure drawing. So we'll do it live.
We'll keep it fair. Unlike the Vegas judges, we're honest people here at the Sweet Science.
Yeah, we just want whoever gets it to enjoy and tell other people to keep watching the Sweet Science TV, because we're here to bring you the best analysis we possibly can as fans and just spectators of the sport. And
then hopefully sometime in July, we'll do a live episode, a live airing from Gail's house prior to that block party. So shouts out to Gail.
Maybe around my birthday, it would be like
get it cracking again.
Yeah, a little Southside Hyde Park fun. We're getting. We want to do a live show, guys, definitely, and have live comments. So that's on. And
hopefully we'll get Melagod back active. He did have better camera this time. I know a lot of people were complaining about his camera, so the quality was better.
On it. He was working.
He was
on
ready.
It, so
he was ready, but
he was definitely ready.
Difficulties happened.
It's very unfortunate we couldn't get his full participation, but I know he's here. He's going to watch the episode, and we're going to make sure he's on with us, because I know he had some really interesting opinions.
He had some hot takes about the Canelo Jacobs fight. He'll probably be watching it here at my place. We might do a little quick little video here just to heat it up for Canelo.
And I might not be live that day, guys, due to work and such. But if you guys, I want you and Melagod, if you guys can do a live together, so that'll be great.
Yep. So we'll try to get that done. But that's pretty much it. Again, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you to everyone that's left a comment on my page. Thank you to all the subscribers, and we will be giving that glove away soon, I promise. And again, if you're located in Chicago, I'll personally deliver it to you, and maybe I might have Meligod join me on that little trip. So that's pretty much it, guys, for this episode 2. We're all done. It's in the bag, and we'll see you next week. Ravi, any last words?
Thanks a lot, folks. Hey, have a good one. Enjoy the fight.
All right, talk to you later. Peace.